Hello, my friends. Glad to see you. I'm just going to adjust my view. And I know Stephen will spotlight me in a second, or he already did. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. And great, we'll begin. I think people are still coming in, but let's begin. Let's begin by offering the energy that we generate and free up today in our class for all, for the benefit of all, as they say. And be sure, I want to say one other thing before we begin, and that is to be sure you're safe. Be sure that you have a space where you can work. Doesn't have to be real big, but where you know you're not going to be tripping over anything, bumping into anything, where there's something nearby that's solid that you can touch if you needed to help with balance. And if you have any real issues with balance, have the back of a chair near you, or a table or a wall. Be sure to have it and work close to it. Have water nearby, stay hydrated, and just take care of yourself. We do this work, this Qigong, which is a form of energy work. We do it for our health and relaxation. And we don't want to allow it to add any stress to our bodies. Whatever other sports or exercise you do, you can always remember the principles of Qigong in what you do, your breath and your center and your Dantian. And let's look at that. Let's begin with our feet about as far apart as the shoulders. The outsides of the feet are parallel. The legs are soft. And be aware for a moment of your breath. Follow your next inhalation and exhalation, or a couple of them. You may find that simply by bringing your attention to your breath for a moment, that your breath slows down and maybe sinks down in your body, bringing life to more of your body than just where we often keep it up in our mind. Let's put the thumbs in the navel, the fingertips touching, and see if you can allow your breath to sink all the way down so that it's actually coming in to your lower belly, all the way down, well below the navel where your pointers are touching. If you can allow the belly to move with each breath so that the belly expands on the inhalation, no effort, it's just the breath that does it, and relaxes back as you exhale. And your fingers are actually touching now the location of what we call in our classical Chinese, the Dantian, our center of energy, our center of motion. Elixir field is the actual translation from the classical Chinese. The field of our best vital energy. And as we go through this hour, see if you can allow your breath to simply remain coming into the Dantian, each inhalation pulling down the diaphragm, naturally expanding the chest and lungs. The legs are still soft, and you may put your pointer finger at the center of the top of your head, just to sensitize that place, known as the Niwan point in Chinese medicine. The point where we connect to the heavens. And you can imagine from there that there's an infinitely powerful thread that hangs from the center of the heavens to that place on your head. And even though you're imagining that thread, feel its effects. Feel how you are lifted and how you can hang down. Your chin will naturally relax forward just a bit. The vertebrae of the back of the neck will elongate. In fact, all your vertebrae may elongate and hang down like pearls on a string. And let's turn from the dantian. Feel how the turn is a turn of the torso. The knees and feet stay soft, but they don't really move much. The whole torso moves as one. The arms are moved by the movement of the body. The head moves with the body. And the next time you turn to the right, let that bring up your left arm. And then your right arm. As we embrace the Tao. The mind and the heart rest in the dantian. And we feel this feeling of embrace, whatever that is for you. Go to your comforting feelings of embracing someone you love. Maybe an idea or a principle that you love. A place you like to be. And allow that feeling of embrace to fill you as you embrace your own self in this moment. And think of that embrace as a field of awareness with its center in your dantian. I should say, feel it as a field of awareness and let it expand like a sphere expanding to hold your body and then to hold the room you're in and anyone who's there with you. And then to hold any other beings in your home and the home itself. Let it expand to hold all of us on this call, on this Zoom call. Let the expansion come with your inhalation. And let that sphere, that field, spread out to fill the whole earth, all the homes and all the beings. The homes under the ocean and the homes in the sky. The homes in the soil. The houses. The boats. Hold everything that is in your embrace. And as you do, feel how your arms remain soft. If you start to feel any muscular tension, can you let that go and allow this embrace to soften yourself? You can also let the arm down, let it slide down, and let the dantian bring it up again. And feel that embrace, that field of embrace with its center in your dantian, holding our planet. And feel it grow from there to hold our sun and the other planets, and from there to hold our galaxy. So we've gone almost beyond our imagination already. There are billions of suns in our galaxy. And let it grow more to hold the billions of galaxies that we know of. And maybe the billions of galaxies that we don't know of. and all the consciousness that exists in any of those places, in any of those times, because we've gone beyond time here, haven't we? And then go beyond that, always with your center in your dantian. And then allow your breath to absorb whatever goodness you've found in these places and come back. Let your field of awareness grow smaller with each exhalation. Back to our galaxy and our sun and our earth. Back to your home and your body. And back to your dantian. Bringing back to our earth and back to your home, whatever you just found. Sending it out to our world. And when you're ready, let your arms float down. And we're going to breathe the arms, inhaling them up and exhaling them in over a waterfall and down. The arms stay soft. There's no muscle power. There's the silken movement of muscles, of joints. And the work is done by the breath. Feel how the feet stay loose, flat, and listening on the earth. And feel how the center of the top of your head, that highest point, is held up to the heavens. As your hands travel up to the heavens and down to the earth. Each breath filling the belly. Each breath bringing more fresh chi to your body and releasing chi that is stuck. Chi, our vital energy, the vital energy of the world. Feel the joints of your body as vast, infinite almost. Each joint. Feel that ball and socket joint of the shoulders. Bring your attention there. A vast and empty space. And the place where your shoulder blade travels along the ribs of your back. Vast and empty space. And all the little joints between your ribs and where your ribs attach to the spine and to the sternum and to the collarbone. Each joint, vast, empty. You don't have to go exactly with me on this movement. Stay with your breath. Let your timing be set by your breath. We may harmonize. We often do when we're in a room together. But it's your breath that's moving your arms. Feel that emptiness in the joints of your elbows, how your elbows stay heavy even as they're coming out, and then grow even more heavy to draw your hands in and down. And feel it in the joints of the wrists, emptiness, the joints of the fingers, the knuckles, the palms. Feel how the knuckles and joints of the wrists go over the waterfall, one by one, joint by joint. And we have another focus. We're going to add an internal focus to this movement, or a different kind of internal focus. Feeling a path of energy, a point that travels up your spine, through the center of the top of the head, down the front of your face, through where your tongue is resting on the roof of your mouth, through your heart, through your dantian, connecting with itself at your perineum. So it's a circle. It's a circuit of energy that is always there in us. A circuit of healing, radiant energy that we're tuning into, we're tracing with our awareness, allowing that energy to move where it's been stuck. To open where it's been closed. Let's do 3 more breaths after the one you're on, following this path of radiant energy. Feeling at how it spreads out to every part of your body as it passes. And still keeping our connection to the earth through the feet, we're just going to step a little wider than we were. The feet are still parallel. And we're going to shift the weight and turn the hips. The constant bear and looking owl is the name of this movement. The bear is holding his ball or her ball. And the very movement of the body, of the dantian, turns the ball over. You can inhale one way and exhale the other. How are your big bear paws? Do they feel the earth? Do they listen down into the earth as the weight pours into one foot or one paw? Do you feel even deeper? And the empty paw still adheres to the earth, still listens. Feel the massive presence of the bear, the weight of the bear's bones. Feel your bones heavy. And your muscles and your flesh soft like the bear. Feeling the immense strength of the bear and the immense softness in yourself. And on the head of the bear is the little looking owl. And the owl reminds us of our connection to the heavens, of our upright straightness. And of our relaxed and open gaze. Let your eyes relax. Feel the eyelids. Let them soften. And the eye sockets and eyebrows. Feel where all the blood vessels and nerves attach from the eyes to the brain. And allow that to soften. And to the face. And allow your face to soften. We're in the time of spring, the wood element, particularly a sensitive time for the eyes. The eyes are one of the manifestations in our bodies of the wood element, along with the liver and gallbladder. And the muscles. So let your gaze also be soft. Feel your gaze travel along your horizon line as you shift the weight and turn the hips. The eyes are soft. The gaze is soft. You'll find you'll take in far more with your soft gaze. And we haven't forgotten our feet, our big paws that are listening to the earth. The softness of the place where our feet rest on the earth. The softness of the whole lower body where the pelvis hangs down. The knees are always soft. Always, always. And do you feel the chi beginning to accumulate between your hands? This chi that we're gathering with every breath and unlocking with every movement. You feel your hands themselves soften. Maybe a little tingly. And let's rest. So we've gathered and freed maybe in ourselves a lot of wonderful chi. And let's utilize some of that chi. Let your hand, one or both hands, go to some place on your body that that calls it. Maybe hurts sometimes. A part of your body that can use a little bit of your good touch. And let the palm be full of attention and presence. I like to say that it's as though you're holding a baby. And we're not doing, although we call this a kind of self-massage, we're not doing any manipulation of muscles or even any stroking. We're simply allowing the palm to be present and listen. So there is an energy exchange that's happening more than anything on the surface of the skin or the surface of the body. So listen, that's all you need to do. Soften and listen. Might be a place that you want to go to where both hands can go, and that's okay too. But do choose one. I'm just showing you a variety on myself. And have that quality that you're holding a baby. This is your baby. Okay. So I do like to do a few of our more structured, formal self-massages that have come down to us in our Yang style short form Qigong. And I'd like today to do one that involves the hips, massaging the hips. So we're going to stand in our more than shoulders width, the stance we used for the constant bear. With one hand, it doesn't matter which hand, you can mirror me or follow me, and I will turn my back soon. One hand is up on this bone of your hip, the hip bone, the pelvic crest. So you're not actually touching the hip joint, which is hidden inside, but you're touching the bone of the pelvic crest. The other hand is hanging down next to the side seam of your clothing, maybe, certainly straight down along your side. We're going to shift the weight towards the upper hand, and as it strokes down the buttock and the lower hand comes up, so they've changed places. So do this for a bit just to get your sense of the rhythm. I'll turn, you can see me from different angles. The hand goes down the buttock as the weight goes into that same leg. It's a really good way to help you get the rhythm. The hand goes down as the weight goes down. Meanwhile, the other hand is coming up right through the groin. So we're stroking, or not stroking, but bringing energy to this very complex and important part of the body, the hip joint and the pelvis. We're also stroking right over the liver meridian as we come up through the groin, and the gallbladder meridian as we go down through the back. Feel your palms the same as we just did, as though you're holding a baby. Bringing attention and presence. Remembering to breathe, you can inhale one way and exhale the other. I didn't mention earlier, but if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question, even if we're in the middle of something. In fact, if it's a question about the work we're doing, so that you clarify as we go along rather than doing it wrong or doing it with confusion. and asking when we're finished. I'd like to hear your questions as we go. And keeping that quality of listening in your hands. Feeling how the foot that you're shifting into receives all the weight and stays soft. How the breath and the movement are one. Okay. Rest. I guess there were no questions about what we were just doing, and that's great. And we shall move on. So I imagine that many of you saw this amazing full moon we've had the last few nights. It was actually full on Friday evening. And I'd like us to do a little homage to the full moon. So we're going to start.
Tina,
yes?
Tina, sorry to interrupt you. I have quite a lot of hip pain. So when I'm doing that exercise, I experience pain on the right side. How do I approach that mentally?
Well, you know, I too have had issues with my right hip, and I have had a lot of success with this movement to release some of that. Mentally, I would say, I think the best I can encapsulate it is that phrase to feel as though you're holding a baby. So you're bringing your really best attention and caring as you go through, well, especially on both sides. You can't even allow the side that doesn't hurt to teach the side that does hurt a little bit. You know, that's a mental thing also. But I'm more. So I guess the feeling that you're holding a baby is not quite as mental. So we're just bringing it to different levels. But also, I have found that it's very effective when I do it quite slowly. And if you feel that it's actually, if you're approaching a place where it does hurt as you shift the weight into that leg, you know, be gentle with yourself. Don't push through pain. Ease up if you need to. Ease up either by working maybe a little higher on that leg at that moment, or by, I wouldn't say go faster if you can help it. Try maybe slowing down might even ease it. And I like to just say, bringing your internal attention to being softer in that place. And for me, that can happen more if I slow down and really just work internally. But I don't in any way suggest pushing through pain or, you know, I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, it's partly
softening it as you can.
Yeah, it's partly coming from the middle of the back on the right side as well. So the whole thing, when I twist and when I shift my weight, it's not an easy thing.
You may also want to do that with a little bit of support when you're going towards the right side. So if you have a table on this side, you might have to even remove your hand, or try having the support on the other side so this hand can go down. You know, it's complex, but I just want to say softening and presence in it, going into it, and to stop if it bothers you. That's true with everything we do. If it's hurting you, stop gently. Don't slam your way out of what you're doing.
Okay. Is there a way of sinking the pain into the floor?
That's what we're working to do here, actually.
Right.
To allow it to go down. Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that then.
About that this week. But...
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
I'll give it some weight, then it can sink down. Okay. instead of holding on to it,
Yeah, exactly.
I'll let
Exactly.
go.
We're
Try and
stroking
let go of it.
down, we're thinking down. You can let it just flow right down through the foot.
Yeah.
Very good one. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
work on it.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that, which I hadn't gotten to. Okay, so we're back. We're going to, let me see how we're doing for time. Okay. We're going to do a walk, which is a way of being in touch with the full moon that we've just experienced.
Ah.
And so we're going to imagine, get yourself into your bare width position, both feet on the ground. And I want you all to visualize the full moon, either that you saw this weekend, or maybe one of your favorite full moons from your life, or just the full moon that pops into your head. But visualize the full moon. And then reach up to that full moon and place it on your head, right on that center point. Take a moment to be sure you're really balancing it there. Of course, your chin is down a little bit. It's right on the center of the top of the head. And now we're going to interlace the fingers and let them rest over the dantian, facing the body. And we're going to walk, and we're going to feel the full moon balancing on the head as we walk. So shift all your weight. Let's go together, all the way into the right leg. Slowly, slowly. Feeling your uprightness and your tailbone hanging down. What is it like to have all the weight in that foot? Now the dantian is going to turn just to about 1 o'clock, opening the empty left foot. And we're going to shift over the empty left foot. So we're shifting straight forward. We'll get about 70% of the weight over that left foot. And then we'll peel up the back foot. All the weight is now over the front foot as we step straight forward, straight in the direction our hips were facing at the beginning. Shift all the weight, or sorry, most of the weight, about 70% of the weight into that front foot. How's your moon? How is your moon? Is it balancing on your head? Shifting back, all the weight in the back foot. Stay with me. This is complex. Let the dantian open the front foot again and shift over it until you have to peel up the back foot. Now, here's a really important moment. You don't want to push off with that toe because that might disturb the moon. And now we're going to step straight forward. It's an empty heel toe step, and then shift the weight. Do you see any light from your moon? You get to about 70% of the weight in the front leg. Both feet are on the ground. Both feet are relaxed. And we're going to shift back. We're breathing. The dantian opens that foot, and we shift into it. And you'll get to a certain point where you'll need to peel up the foot, the back foot. And a certain point where the toe will peel up without throwing you off balance. And then you'll take that empty step, swinging through from the hip, heel toe, empty, and shift forward. I'm stepping back further so you can see me. Shifting forward to 70%. Shift back. Let the front foot open. If you know this walk already, you can continue at your own pace, but let's stay together if we can. You may find the light of the moon shining around you. You can allow yourself to be aware of your breath and inhale as you shift forward and exhale as you shift back. And inhale as you shift forward and peel up the foot and step and continue. Inhale and exhale as you shift back. If you have any questions, now would be a good time to ask. When you arrive in that 70% moment, feel how your tailbone is hanging, how the back knee and foot and hip are soft. Feel how your step is completely empty. Last step. You can let the foot come back so the feet are parallel again. And let's reach up and take our moons and place them back in the sky. Everybody okay? So we're going to do another, oh, I see some nice smiles, good. We're going to do another self-massage. And this is one we've done before. I think we did it in the first class. We're going to stroke down the chest. And we're going to do it 49 times, and I'm going to ask you to count for yourselves. But just a few words about doing this particular kind of a massage. You can stand still as you do it. If you are standing still, use it as a moment to feel your connection to the earth and the heavens. Or you can very slowly walk as you're doing the self-massage. And if you are walking, let your walk be very, not as complex as what we were just doing, but let your walk be empty step, staying straight, empty step. Okay? So whatever you feel would be the least complex for you, but keep you in this current of energy between the earth and the heavens. So the stroke itself is going to be straight down from the point where you're, that little opening in the collarbone, over the sternum and then away from the body. We're going to do 49 of these, and each hand counts as one. So this is 1, 2. Go nice and slow. Bring your attention, listening, the palm, listening to this part of your body. This particular self-massage is healing to our bodies in so many ways. Think of your chest, your treasure chest. First of all, the digestive system passes through here. This is a wonderful feeling to help you digest a meal if you ate too much or if you have reflux. The digestive system is our earth element. This puts us in tune with that ability to absorb energy, transform it, absorb the gifts of the earth and transform them, absorb feelings and emotions and thoughts and new information and make it our own. And then this is also really healing for the metal element in us. The ability to get rid of what we don't need, which we do with every breath. And to take the essence of what we do need, which we do with every breath. And that's the metal element in us. And the lungs are one of the manifestations of the metal element. Very healing for your immune system. Everybody wanted to do this one during COVID time. And then also healing for the fire element in us. And that is the heart, known in Chinese medicine as the supreme controller. This is soothing and healing and relaxing for the heart. So it looks like some people are finished. Just give it another minute. I never keep count when I'm teaching. Lose count if I try. Okay. So we're going to move on to our 3 opening movements, which we close with as well. But does anybody have any questions about anything else that we did today? Are any of you using these 3, Bear, Yin Yang, and Tao, as a daily routine, doing them in the morning and at night? Yeah, good to hear that. I'll talk about that a little bit as we go through them. I do want to say to you something I neglected to say, which is that for the self massages, the hip, we did the hips at the beginning. That's one of the few that doesn't have a count, but many of them have a particular number attached, like this is for 49 times. And when there is a number given, don't do more. You can do fewer if your body tells you to stop, but don't do more. You do more later, but give your body a chance to absorb the dose that you're giving. Okay, so moving on. So we begin our end of the class the way we would begin the end of our day as part of a daily routine, and that is with the constant bear and looking owl. Of course, these, particularly I think the bear and the yin yang, are really powerful tools to use anytime in the day as a reset button, as a change of energy. And Professor Chang Man-Ching, that's his picture right there, who developed this movement and who brought the Yang style short form of Tai Chi to the States and first began teaching Westerners. Professor used to say about this movement, the constant bear, that if you do this for 100 times a day for 100 days, that whatever is troubling you will no longer control your life. That was the translation of his exact words. He didn't say it will heal anything, but he said it's a way to continue living at your best. I don't want to interpret. Whatever is troubling you will no longer control your life. And of course, if you are doing this movement at the end of the day, before you go to bed, it's a great time to let go of the day. Let go of what's on your mind, what's in your heart, the joys and the sorrows. Let go of the aches and pains and let go of the vitality and excitement. Just go back to the basics, to your breath and your dantian. Okay. And then we'll follow that with our yin yang breath. So the feet are about as far apart as the hips or the shoulders. And it is the breath that makes this movement. It's the breath into the belly that makes this movement. It's the breath that follows this pattern of energy up the spine, yang energy, and down the front of the body, yin energy. Reminding us of our connection to the heavens above, to the earth below. Taking us from the 10,000 things of the day to these patterns of our lives, of inhale and exhale. Or of day and night. Of taking in and releasing. You may observe that as you've done this hour, your breath has become slower. Smoother. Longer. Let's do two more. And then let the dantian, with a little movement, bring your arms up to embrace the Tao. So we begin the day with the Tao, with that acknowledgement of the place that is beyond the yin and yang, where all is one. And we end the day that way, letting go of distinctions and choices. Simply being with the breath. I like to hold this position at night after I've done my yin yang breaths. And of course, I can't wait to get in bed and stop standing still at that point. I like to just stay in this position until I have a moment of acceptance. Simply acceptance for what is here now. So think of it as a moment of acceptance of yourself, of where you are right now. So when you're ready, thank you all for coming. Got a smaller group today, but good to see you.